What is up, you guys? It is me, it is Monty, and I am here today with the final update, the final little sitting in front of my bookshelves moment, talking about a book that I read of Vlogmas. So, it's Christmas. If you're celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. As I said yesterday, in yesterday's little clippy clip, today I was going to go watch The Color Purple, and I did, and it was really good. Although, here's the thing, I've not read the book, so I don't know. I can't really talk about like what are narrative problems from the book versus like this little adaptation, but there definitely felt to be like holes in the narrative, like not structurally, like the movie doesn't make sense holes, but just like I would have liked to see more things holes, like I don't know how to describe it necessarily. Like I wouldn't give it a screenwriting award, but I don't think like a best picture means that you can't have problems. I feel like a best picture is like the culmination of everything from the screenplay to the acting to the cinematography. And I feel like I would give it a best picture. I wouldn't, just like Barbie, horrible screenplay. Couldn't give Barbie a screenplay win. Saltburn, couldn't give it a screenplay win. But acting, like the actors definitely delivered. And I feel like that's the case in The Color Purple. So like, again, maybe this is Alice Walker. I don't know the woman. I didn't get to read the book before the movie came out. So, I mean, I've had my entire life to read The Color Purple. So I guess technically I did. I had all year till I tried to get it on hold. And I waited until December. So, sure, in theory, I could have. But it was really good. I enjoyed the performances. The musical numbers were, I'm going to say they were good. I'm going to blame the theater that I was in for not having the appropriate speakers. Again, they sat us in like one of the raggedy old theaters that don't have like the nice new chairs. And I feel like the sound system isn't as good. And so I do feel like the sound system was letting down some of the musical numbers. But I also feel like the musical numbers were abbreviated. I don't know. They felt, I don't know, like it's a 2-hour movie, so, and I do feel like they sing for a significant part of the movie. It just felt abbreviated. There's something about them that wasn't, which is weird because they were, like some of them were like really big numbers and like you would see like the choreography and like it really felt like Warner Brothers was bringing back the musical, which I appreciate. I appreciate a good, quality production. And again, like I would still give it a Best Picture nomination and the acting was still very good. I think, yeah, I would still give it that. I've seen some people say that, who is it? Is it Danielle Brooks? Is that her name, playing Sophia? I feel like she's been getting a lot of attention probably because she won the Tony in the 2015 revival. It's not that she's bad in this movie. She's very good. But like, I don't know. Like I think the role is small. And so she does a lot with what she's, there to do. But I would still give it to Taraji before I gave it to her. Which isn't to say that, they did a bad job. But I definitely feel like Fantasia is the one who should win. She should win it. Give it to Fantasia. I mean, they're not going to... Taraji's definitely in the supporting category, and so Danielle. But Fantasia, she really anchors the movie in a very beautiful way. And I would give it to her. I would give her the Oscar. I've seen a lot. I haven't seen all of like the best, like the leading lady performances that are being talked about. Like Poor Things is not playing in a theater near me. And I haven't seen like Anatomy of a Fall or what is it? Zone of Interest, which are also kind of getting buzzed about. But as much as I love Emma, I feel like Emma's good. Emma has one. She doesn't need a second. I don't care how good the movie is. Sorry, Emma. You're good. You'll live. And I just feel like Fantasia should take it, which is then beautiful because then her little Lifetime movie would now have 2 Oscar winners in it because isn't Viola playing her mom in that movie? So love that for me personally. For me personally. But on the way to the theater and on the way home from the theater, I listened to the 4th Percy Jackson book, The Battle of the Labyrinth. And honestly, I feel like this was the best one so far, like that I've read. Like The Lightning Thief was really good just on like setup. Love it. Here's the issue that I have with the world of Percy Jackson that I'm going to talk in this video because I haven't talked about it yet. And I just feel like it doesn't, I mean, I've said that it doesn't make sense before, but I think the part that like really, I mean, maybe in the Heroes of Olympus, I'm going to be reminded as to like why this is the case. But at least in the first Percy Jackson book and kind of in the second one, we're always told of like other people who are demigods. So like we know that George Washington was a son of Zeus, and Amelia Earhart was also a child of the gods, and we know that World War II was spearheaded by children of the gods, and like that's kind of why the big three said, okay, we'll stop having children because our children are kind of becoming too much, and they're like leading us into these wars, and like it's doing too much. Okay, like our children are just a lot to handle, so we're gonna stop having them. And then in the first book, there's also like this throwaway line of like there are a lot of celebrities who I guess are also demigods. And I guess technically those people could be the child of lesser gods. Like you don't have to be an Olympian, because in the Battle of the Labyrinth, one of the pivotal moments revolves around a child of a lesser god, like the goddess of revenge. And I'm pretty sure in the blood of not the blood of Olympus, the last Olympian, one of like after the dust settles and Percy wins the war or whatever, I think one of his things is like establishing cabins for children of the lesser gods, or maybe that's something that happens in the Hero of Olympus, because like that's also like Percy's going on all these adventures, right? So maybe that's a thing, but I just feel like it doesn't make sense for there to be so few Greek demigods, and I feel like that's always. And I'm saying this because I saw a tweet sometime this past week after the most recent episode came out about how there's like such a stark difference between Camp Half-Blood and Camp Jupiter. I think it's Camp Jupiter, which is where the Roman camp kids live. And they have like a full-blown university there, and they like live with their entire extended families. Like it's a lot that's happening. Like the shift between the two camps is wild and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But there's like no Greek. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that like the Greek gods are like the older versions, and so like maybe they spend less time as that version of themselves, and they spend more time as their Roman counterpart, and so they just bang more as them and have more children in that persona. I don't know. Maybe maybe that's the reasoning. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It also doesn't make any sense that I'm supposed to believe that it's so dangerous and like the world is so risky, but they actively like kick all the kids out at the end of camp every year, and like you can't actually stay there. Again, I'm sure it's talked about more in the Heroes of Olympus, and I'm just like, ooh, it's gone from my mind. But it just feels like such a weird setup for this world, for this thing to exist, and I don't necessarily like it. But I do like this book the most, so I think the last one I gave 3 stars. I gave this one like another 4. Like it's easily, of the first 5 books, top in the top half of it. Like Sea of Monsters and The Titan's Curse are cute, but I feel like this is just better. Also, I don't know. I also feel like Rick Riordan doesn't necessarily do a great job with like character dynamics in this series in particular. And maybe that's just a byproduct of how the story is told from Percy in some undisclosed distance from the Assyrian. Like he's telling us the story from some vantage point in the future. So this one continued to be like a 4-star for me, and I enjoyed it. I like seeing Rachel back. I just like her as a character. I keep expecting her to have more to do, and she just doesn't. So I'm assuming that that's also a Heroes of Olympus thing that I'm just like remembering incorrectly, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I'll live. I'll get used to it. I'll get over it. What else? Nico. I always expect him to have more to do, and he doesn't have a whole lot to do, which I guess is fair. It's Nico. What is he supposed to do? So he's not doing a lot here, but he has he has 1 book now. I don't know if that's going to continue, because I also thought Chalice of the Gods was like a one-off, and apparently there's going to be a couple other books, and Chalice of the Gods was not a one-off. So I don't know what's happening with that Nico book. It could be a whole new thing. It could not be a whole new thing. I'm still iffy on if when I finish the Heroes of Olympus, if I'm going to read the Trials of Apollo. I feel like I should at that point. But I feel like if I'm going to finish the Trials of Apollo, then I should finish the little Magnus Chase book, because I really did enjoy the first Magnus Chase. I don't know if I can bring myself to do that, because I do feel like as much as I'm enjoying the Rick Riordan of it all, he's probably still better in small doses. But I guess I can continue. I think what I'll do is I will continue to read his books until I'm done with the first season of the show. And then when the first season is over, I'm going to take a nice little break and allow myself to no longer ingest the stories. But for now, I'm having a good time. I guess the new episode drops tomorrow because today's Monday and they drop on Tuesday now. So thanks for spending your like the past like 12 minutes of Christmas with me. I'm going to go. I'm gonna eat my dinner. I'll see you guys again back here for my final read of the year, where I vlog that, and then I'll vlog my first read as well. That might just be one video this year. I don't know if I'm gonna do that like 2 separate videos. I'll just combine them. So maybe, I don't know what I'm doing, but you'll see me in another video at some point. But until then, and until next time, bye.